Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, and stick around. Also, if you need help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching, email coaching, as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. I also have a self-study mini course, Telepathically Connect with Your Specific Person. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on them and they're going to take you to my website. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. In today's video, I wanted to address a question that I was asked in one of the comments in one of my videos, but it's also a question that comes up quite a lot in my coaching sessions. And the question is, what do you do if you've been manifesting your specific person for a while or for what it seems like a long time to you, and you still don't have them, they still haven't manifested, you still are not seeing any movement? What do you do in that case? So this is what I'll be discussing in today's video. Stay tuned. So I feel like there's a few parameters here that have to be addressed. First of all, the question of time. What does a long time even mean? Does it mean that you've been doing it for a couple of weeks and you haven't been seeing movement? Does it mean 3 months? Does it mean 6 months? Does it mean years? What does it mean? And because there are no absolutes in manifesting, and the whole premise of manifesting is that all realities exist, how you interpret time and how you perceive time and what meaning you give to the time that has passed is ultimately up to you as an individual. Someone might think 3 months, for example, is a very long time. Someone might think 3 months is nothing. So assuming, of course, that you haven't only been practicing your techniques and you're manifesting for maybe a few days or maybe a couple of weeks or even a few weeks and you're not seeing movement yet, which is perfectly normal. If you've genuinely been manifesting your specific person for a while, let's say 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, more than that, and you're still not seeing results, you're still not seeing movement, then there's two things I would like to discuss here. The first and most important thing is I want you to take a really good and honest look to your actual inner state. That is, what has been your dominant energy throughout this time that you've been manifesting your specific person. What have been your perceptions? What have been your dominant assumptions? What have been your dominant expectations? Are you still predominantly dwelling on the old story? Are you still perhaps expecting disappointment from them? Are you still perhaps thinking along the lines of they don't want me, they haven't chosen me, they are rejecting me, they don't want to be with me, and so on? And for most people, your answer is actually right there. A lot of you will find that you actually haven't shifted your state at all, even though you might have been persisting in doing the techniques. Or you might find that you have shifted some of your assumptions, some of your perceptions, some of your energy, but then a majority of time you are still dwelling on the old story, you still have your old expectations of your specific person, and overall you're not perceiving the situation in a new light, you're still perceiving the situation in the old light. Something that confuses a lot of people is that they start paying attention to the time. For example, I've been doing this for a month, I've been doing this for 3 months, I've been doing this for 6 months, and so on. But what they fail to recognize is that if their state hasn't changed, the time that has elapsed doesn't really say anything, doesn't really mean anything. You could even be trying for years without shifting your state, just doing the techniques and thinking that you are persisting when all your dominant assumptions and all your dominant perceptions and your dominant energy are still the same as in the past. And then you go and look at the time and say, well, yes, but 6 months have passed, a year has passed, 2 years have passed, and I've still got nothing. But you fail to realize and recognize that your state has still remained largely unchanged. So the main thing you need to be looking at is how long has it been since you actually shifted your state and since you've been predominantly in the new state. Most of you will probably find that it hasn't been more than maybe a few months since you shifted your state and you started sustaining that shift and that change. So while you feel like you've been manifesting your specific person for say a year or 2 years, in reality, you've only been manifesting the new story for maybe 2 months or 3 months. The clock doesn't quite start when you make the decision to manifest someone or something. The clock really starts counting when you have that actual inner shift. So I think for very many of you, if not most of you, if not the vast majority of you, that is your answer right there. And many of you will find that you haven't really been manifesting the new story with your specific person for all that long after all. I do, however, want to add a disclaimer here and remind you guys that this is your life, this is your reality, and as such, you always need to be following your priorities, your values, your needs, and your own individual truth. So for example, I often get a lot of clients who tell me, well, you know what, I'm at an age where I feel like I should be getting married soon, I should be starting a family soon, I should be having children soon. So for me, it's not actually a viable option to wait, say, a year or 2 years, just to give some examples. I'm not saying that it's going to take that long. I'm saying this to illustrate that some people have a different priority for their life and for their future, and as such, they don't feel like they're able or even willing to wait until their manifestation pans out in the 3D, until they shift their state, and so on. If you're in that category, I would like to encourage you to follow your own priorities, your own desires, and your own needs. If you feel like, you know what, my biggest priority is to actually meet someone suitable, meet someone who is ready to take the next step with me right now and start a family, then it's a perfectly viable option and choice to walk away from the manifestation of your SP. If on the other hand, you are someone who doesn't have that kind of urgency, for example, I also get a lot of clients who either at a younger age or at a more mature age tell me, I am happily single, I can only see myself in a relationship with my specific person, I'm okay even if it takes months, even if it takes a year, I'm okay with that. If that is your priority, if that is your desire, if your desire and your priority is to be with that specific person no matter what, then I also respect that and I also support you in that choice. Obviously, we're not talking here about obsession or desperation or anything like that. I talk in all of my videos about how to get out of those states because they are the opposite of the wish fulfilled. But if you feel strongly in your heart that I'm okay being single, and if I'm going to be in a relationship or in a marriage, it's going to be with that person, then that is also your priority, that is your choice, and that is you following your heart and your own truth. So there is no right or wrong here. All realities exist, all choices are valid. You need to take a good look at your priorities. You need to take a good look at your own individual truth, at how you see yourself and where you see yourself, say a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and make your decisions accordingly. If you decide to walk away from your SP manifestation because you feel it's been too long, you're too exhausted, you're too tired, you'd rather not try to manifest a new version of your SP, but actually meet someone who is ready right now instead, that is a valid choice. And it's also equally valid and equally okay, if that is what you want, to decide that I'm not going to care about time, it takes as long as it takes, I'm going to be with my SP sooner or later, and that's who I want to be with. That is also valid. So to recap, there is no right or wrong as such. It all depends on your individual desires, needs, priorities, and values, and also your own goals for your life and for your future. But primarily, if you are concerned about time, take a very, very good and honest and deep look at your own state, your own energy, your own perceptions, your own assumptions about the situation, and your own expectations, and see if you have actually shifted your state yet to it being predominantly the state of the wish fulfilled with your specific person, because ultimately this is what's going to manifest your specific person and nothing else. With all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I intend that this has helped. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.